Welcome to the Experience Better video podcast series. I'm Josh Beekler. I'm a physical therapist, and with me today is Ashlyn Kramer, a physical therapist at the Balance Mobility Clinic. So today, Ashlyn, we're going to talk about patients after they get out of the hospital, and kind of what that means and for them and kind of what they typically face. So,
Sure.
So what do you typically see from a patient? Maybe they've been in the hospital, 4 to 7 days. And then they come here for therapy afterwards. What are you typically seeing from them?
Sure. It kind of depends what they were in the hospital
Sure.
for. A lot of times it's heart, lungs, something like that. They've said in different studies they found that being in the hospital or being in bed for one day could take up to 3 to 5 days to recover from.
Mm-hmm.
So people think, oh, I was in the hospital. It was only 3 or 4 days. No big deal. I'll bounce right back.
Right.
That's not necessarily true. It could take you a week or 2 or more, depending
Mm-hmm.
what you were in for, what kind of medication you received and treatment while you were there. And so a lot of times the first thing you notice is weakness, maybe difficulty getting around. Maybe you never really noticed you had 4 or 5 stairs to get into your house until you came home from the hospital and it took a little more effort than you thought
Sure.
it would. So usually strength goes first, and then sometimes even balance. You might not really think, well, nothing really happened. Maybe I just had a little bit of pneumonia. But when you get weak, your balance can be affected as well. So people might go home and be a little more unsteady or maybe have a fall and they've never had one before.
Right, and then that can even lead to further weakness because they go home and they're almost afraid to get up and move around, so they're almost as immobile as they were in the hospital.
Sure.
So that's why it's really critical for them to get out and about, come to therapy, get that strength back so they can get back to doing what they want to be able to do.
Exactly.
So, very good. So, obviously you talked about, mostly heart and lung type conditions, but, obviously we see a lot of patients who have orthopedic conditions, traumas, total joints, that type of stuff as well. And then not only do they have to rehabilitate, whatever was broken or injured, but that general conditioning level has to be improved as well on top of just their orthopedic condition.
Right, and a lot of people that are in the hospital for an orthopedic reason or a trauma, their physicians will specifically tell them you need to go to therapy. Some people, you might be discharged from the hospital and your doctor might say, it might be a good idea, but they don't really push it. So that's where you might get home and notice, well, I am a lot weaker than I thought. Maybe I should take up their advice on that.
Right.
So you're able to get back to normal.
Absolutely. So come see Ashlyn. I mean, if you've been to the hospital, if a family member or a loved one who's been to the hospital, definitely come see Ashlyn and the other experts here at Balance Mobility in Grand Island. So thanks for joining me today, Ashlyn, talking to us about that.
Welcome.
All right.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.